I have been doing this all night. Hi, it is Robbie from Southern California in the middle of the night. I'm coming to you in my worst of my worst. Oh, this one doesn't have much of a seed because this is so important that I'm actually going to post this in the middle of the night. My daughter called and said, "Did you see this ad?" And it's like, no, because I don't really look for that. Okay, let me explain to you what I'm doing, and then I'll tell you what's the most important thing tonight, what I want you to know. Especially some of you will be interested and some of you won't, and that's okay. Right now what I'm doing is I'm taking the jujube fruit that Garrett, and this is not what it's on, but I'll show you because you're going to ask. He's been picking these. This is nothing. I have more in the freezer. And this is off of one tree, and I think there's a new tree that came up from seed. He said it's about 2 years old, and it has its first flowers or something on it. These are really, really interesting fruit. They grow like an apple. At this stage, in the green stage, they taste just like an apple. They crunch like an apple. I'm going to actually use this in the winter to make an apple crunch pie that I make out of cranberries because I've got it. And it's organic, comes in our yard, and tastes really good. Now, you can let them dry out. So this, in about a week, will look like this, maybe 2 weeks. This will only last out on the counter for a couple weeks, if that, because it will dry up. I mean, in this stage, you can refrigerate them, and they'll last a little longer. But when they dry out like this, you can put them in the fridge. They say they'll last for a year. I've never had them that long, but they'll last for a long time. Now, this tastes like a date. See how they're brown? And this will taste like an apple. So this has got a crunch. I don't know if you can hear it, but when I cut it, it sounds just like I'm cutting an apple. There's a pit inside. That one, see, I like to cut them this way because I can roll it, and then I can pull them apart. This side has nothing. And this one will pop out. Sometimes I use this little spoon that I picked up. It's from Dollar Tree. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. And I get the pit out. It's a seed. I don't want that. And now I've got this. And then this one, it's a little harder to cut the brown ones. I mean, they cut fine, but I found it sometimes hard to get the pit out. See, the pit looks different. So I like cutting up the green ones right now, and the brown ones I might just, the drier ones, I might just eat them as is. I'll see. If I have time, I'll do those too, because they're good to use in a pie as well. But this has, as it dries, it's very date-like, and it gets sweeter and sweeter. But this is just like an apple, so that's why I'm trying to cut these and get these in the fridge or the freezer. I'm going to freeze them. I've never froze these. I have put them in the fridge. You got to go all the way around when you do this. I have put them in the fridge, and yes, Gary was eating them like 6 months later. They were in the back of the fridge, and he was still eating them. To me, they were hard and leathery at that point, but he's fine with that. They get chewy, and then the longer and the older they get when they're brown, the more leathery they get. But they're really good. They really don't rot. It must be a fruit that on the tree, it starts off green, which is interesting. Then it will dry. They'll fall off easily when you touch them at this stage, but they eventually will fall on the ground, and then they'll dry up, and they can sit there probably until spring, and then by then they'll fall into the ground and start to grow. And maybe also animals will find them, chew on them because they're sweet, carry them somewhere else, so not all the trees will grow in one spot. The trees will be spread over everywhere. So it's a really good fruit to grow. See what I'm doing? I've been doing this all night. I'm going to freeze this. In the morning, when they're all frozen, then I'm going to put them in a bag and I'll label them. And then I can use them like apples in the winter. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, because I normally would not look like such a slob and do this with just I was going to go to bed. And like I said, my daughter texted me. She said, "Are you aware of these red Sterilite dish pans?" Now, these are 12 quarts, and this one is 16. So this is much bigger. They're really heavy. I grow so much stuff in them. You see me grow zucchini in here, tomatoes. I've got turmeric growing in here, ginger, potatoes, potato mint, everything. Anything you can grow in here, it's like having a 5-gallon bucket. Even though it's only 4.5 gallons, you can get a lot growing in here. Now this one is smaller. It fits perfect in the sink. They normally sell for $4 and $5. I've seen them, actually the red ones sell for $9. I don't know why, but maybe the red is more expensive. They're BPA free. The nice thing about Sterlite, it's a company in the United States. All right, this is the part that will be good when you first see it, and it's going to disappear. These sell for under $5. They used to be really cheap, and they raised the price to $4.86 or whatever it is. Let's just say $5. I have never had one break. I lift them, I move them all over, I make holes in them and plant in them. I use them for putting seedlings in there. Sometimes I don't even put holes because I want a little bit of water on the bottom. These have been fantastic. Best thing in the world. You can see how strong they are. This one's a little thinner. Again, the white ones sell for $4 and the red ones sell for up to $9. I don't know why, but they do. Right now, for whatever reason, even though this is the best buy, they've got these for $9 and change for 8. Let's just say $9.20. It's a little less than that. $9.20 for 8 of these. You can't go to Dollar Tree and buy the small white ones anymore for less than $1.50. They raised the price. So they're $1.50 for the smaller ones. This is 12 quart. The ones at Dollar Tree I think are 8 quart, and they're real thin. So I don't know how long they'll last for. I mean, I've got a few of them around here. I do use them, but this is just so pretty. A U.S. company, Sterlite. You can see the size difference. But I'm going to tell you, I just ordered a bunch of these because I'm going to grow ginger, turmeric, lettuce, different greens. I mean, you can't grow corn on the cob in here, but you can grow squash in here, one squash plant. Whatever you want to grow, you got to grow what you want to grow. Radishes can grow in here. You can grow carrots if they're the short ones, parsley. What else do you want to grow in here? You can probably grow one eggplant in here. Might be able to take one cucumber plant. I mean, these are just so easy. And then when you're done, if you're in an area where you get snow and you're done gardening, then you just rinse them out. Or if you're going to leave the soil in there, it's up to you, unless you're going to dump it in a pile and go back and get it later. And then you can stack them. The reason I bought a bunch of them is it doesn't matter if you've got 1 or 100. They stack. So you can put them in a corner and can be 100 high. So I bought a whole bunch. But right now, for just over $1, you can get these beautiful Sterlite dish pans, 12 quarts, for the cheapest price I have ever seen them. That's cheaper than the small white ones. So this is the main reason I came on. The Jujube is just something I'm working on right now. It's an interesting plant. They'll flower and produce fruit fairly quick. You can get them at the different, Home Depot and Lowe's and different nurseries. And once they take off, you get hundreds of them. So that's what I was doing there. Gary's we've been eating dragon fruit. He's been pollinating dragon fruit. So that was the main reason I came on tonight. Don't look at me, because it's just something I figured I was going to wait till morning, and then by then I'll get busy. I won't be able to get something on, and you may miss it. So check it out if you're looking for it. I belong to Walmart. I have a membership, so shipping is free. I can buy things for $1 and they'll ship it for free. So the membership for me is fantastic to have. If you don't have a membership, I think you have to spend $35 to get free shipping, but don't quote me on that. Just check on it. But I do believe you cannot get this in the store for that price. So I'm going to put the link underneath. You'll see a box right under the video. You'll have to be on a phone, a tablet. You won't be able to see it on the TV or anything. Tap on it, go check it out. I'm sure they're going to sell out really quick, but if they do, keep in mind, at that point, when they go back to $9 each, it's too expensive. Get the white one for $4 if you want white. But Easy to stack away when you're not gardening, and easy to pull out and garden with these. They've been one of my favorite things to garden in. You know, I've got them all over the deck and all over the garden as well. So that's what I came on for. Have a wonderful evening. All right, I think I'm going to call it quits. It's getting late. I want to get this up so you guys can check this out if you're interested in growing in here. And it's good even for starting seeds later on, you know, let's say in the spring or in the winter. You know, you can do a lot of stuff with this. This is beautiful. All right, check it out if you're interested. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. No pet. Well, that one should have been frozen.